Alrighty then, it's time for a Jungle Zack game, and my god, was this game intense as fuck. Which one? It's probably one of the best games I may have ever played or be able to upload in my YouTube channel. But still, with that, I kind of implore you to consider watching the entire thing through. Anyways, prior to this game happening, I was in a 6-game losing streak and feeling super bad. So I decided to take a break and then play Zack just to sort of recoup my tilt. Just become untilted, since Zack is one of my most comfortable champion picks in the game. If I ever have any doubts, I'll pick Zack or Jarvan. Anyways, when I'm doing my red, Riven decides to come by and try to cheese me, but I was 2 steps ahead of her with that ward, which is why I didn't place it at any point prior to that, because I felt like Rivens tend to cheese you a lot here. Anyways, Rengar catches her, deals quite a bit of good damage, and you can tell the Riven is trying to run away to her teammate, to Gragas' teammate. Gragas is going to show up right here. He misses his body slam. Lux and Victor are fighting, so we're not going to expect any assistance from them. And we almost kill the Riven, but she flashes away. We turn our attention to the Gragas, deal quite a bit of damage, but here's the fatal mistake that Rengar does. At this point, the enemy team is able just to get their cooldowns back and instantly burst them down. So Rengar dies, I retreat, they burn a lot of flashes, Lux comes in, and she manages to catch the Riven and finish her off. I still have my passive, so I'm not afraid of going back in, and my E misses the Victor because I thought without mana he just started backing away. So my passive gets popped. Fortunately, I don't die for this, so it ended up being a trade 1-for-1, and then Lux kills the Victor. No assist from me or the Rengar. Kind of sad. However, there's a very bad situation arising from this. My Rengar teammate is ridiculously behind the Riven. She participated in the kill. Obviously, got to lane faster than he did, or got some lane experience in the middle, and now she's able to freeze a lane. So Rengar is fucked. So I know I need to help him out, and just watch how we do this. I'm waiting here in the bush. It's obvious it's not warded. Rengar is basically going to bait her out to use her dashes so I can jump in. He's going to dash on top of her as soon as she does one of her little Q things, and as soon as she does her entire combo, I jump in on her. She's got absolutely no weight mobility anymore, and we finish her off. And this helps reset Rengar's lane. At the very least, allows him to be on par with her again, considering the advantage she got. So that's an important thing to consider. I needed to help out Rengar because he's the type of champion that if he's failing in the game or his opponent is excelling, we might just flat out lose the game entirely. It's one of those situations where even though it's super risky or hard to gank someone like Riven that early on who's ahead, you kind of have to do it or else you just sort of lose spectacularly. Either way, my main target is making sure the Riven doesn't get super fed, which at this point she's kind of destroying the Rengar, mostly because of the weaknesses and whatnot. She's still sort of hanging around my jungle, and I'm trying to scout for her, mostly because I felt she was going to try to steal my red. I jump at her, control her as much as I can, and then she makes a sort of mistake of trying to retreat through my jungle instead of trying to go through the Baron pit. So eventually she's going to get caught out. Although I'm the one who ends up getting the kill here. Lux sort of shows up to just kind of force her or shepherd her into the lane to die. I give my Krug to my Rengar teammate. I was making sure to give some experience to him because he truly is kind of fucked, and I need him to get his ultimate up so he can help me gank or at least start snowballing. I move towards the Victor to try to kill him because he seems to be low health and has no ward here. I managed just to sort of tag him, and thankfully the Lux managed to pick him up. We turn our attention to the Janna and watch how I move. I move in front of her rather than auto-attacking her because she already has the slows applied, the red applied, and it's just to make sure I can catch her if she still had flash. I didn't know if she did, so if she flashed over, I'd be able to hit her with my Q or something like that. Anyhow, this game, I'm going tank because it seems we're going to be needing that bodyguard blubberiness. I'm going to be going bodyguard duty, making sure the enemy Gragas and the enemy Riven can't do anything to my teammates, and Rengar can hopefully pick off somebody important. Lux can hopefully act as sort of artillery, and so on and so forth. The rest of the teammates sort of, do some other things. Right now the Lux is mega fed because of the interference that we've given her, mostly Soraka coming in and sort of making sure she didn't die in lane several times. Anyhow, as you can see, when I buckle down and play seriously, I'm try to be as helpful as possible because it's sort of two philosophies that rival amongst each other. In ranked, do you play, to carry your teammates and you play selfishly, AD Jarvan or Master E, Udi or that kind of stuff? Or do you believe and trust in your teammates and play as supporty as possible, granting them buffs, granting them the majority of experience if you can help it, building towards assisting them like pure auras and stuff like that, basically the support. I was able to gain the trust from the Rengar rather quickly or I was able to put my trust into him rather quickly because of how he responded to the red buff. And as a result, I kind of initially was thinking maybe I needed to go AP. But because of Rengar's help and sort of some of the mechanical stuff they're showing, I decided to go tankiness and rely on them. And so far, it hasn't bitten me in the ass. You can see the coordination here is the coordination is there. Unfortunately, there is one issue you can see that of my team. Their kill spread is, even though they only have 5 kills, is sort of on some of the targets that are better. All my kill spread is on me and the Riven, and the farm isn't really there on the Rengar, which makes his kills rather irrelevant. Keep that in mind because that's actually going to play a very big part. Essentially, the gold is pretty poorly spread out, and thus some of the characters that need to be big in my team aren't big yet. Lux can blow up the enemy team, but at the same time, she herself can be blown up. You can see that she's not investing in a hourglass yet, so she's rather vulnerable. Plus, the enemy Riven seems to be on the up and up of what to do, so she's constantly able to beat out the Rengar. My Lux teammate, again, she's got 9 kills at this point. A lot of them are sort of snipes and shit, or just people blundering in and getting murdered. So her shitty behavior that she starts expressing, or she expressed at the very beginning, was rather unfounded. Anyways, here we catch the Victor and the Gragas, though they kind of were chasing after the Lux, and she gets absolutely annihilated, although mostly because she failed her flash. But thankfully to that, the Rengar and myself were able to pick up 2 kills. Rengar getting all the kills in this one. We give chase to the Riven. She has absolutely no chance of escaping, and I pick up this kill, although I kind of wanted to give it to the Rengar. Still, he got 2 kills, and that's good enough. Rengar, in a way, can be said to basically have recovered this game already. Unfortunately, it's not really enough because his farm is pretty poor. If anything, is sort of like mildly fed as a result. I mean, he still got 3 deaths, right? But anyways, one thing that I'm becoming very worried about so far this game while playing it was that this Ezreal actually outplayed the living shit out of me and pretty much the rest of my team. Lux missed their ultimate too. So it's getting me a little bit worried that this Ezreal might become very difficult for my team to catch if his Janna teammate is also on the up and up. Ezreal showcasing that he's got the moves, but the Janna alone will just exacerbate the problem. Either way, here Rengar catches the Riven, a full fight happens, I re-engage, catch the Gragas, and we're able to finish him off. Victor comes in and immediately blows up the Lux. I survive with a sliver of health. Sliver runs off to herself. I don't know. Yeah, she gets killed by the Victor. I re-engage on the Janna, and me and Rengar finish her off alongside Soraka. Of course, she's playing a huge part in this. And then we re-engage on the Victor and finish him off too. So we get just a delayed ace on the enemy team, I think. I don't know if the Ezreal died at any point in that time. Either way, yes, right now you can see how sort of the idea of what my team composition is supposed to do, or how it's intending to function, is, well, functioning. I'm the bodyguard. Soraka's keeping us all alive, and I gotta say, Soraka, despite all her deaths that she's gonna accumulate throughout this game, she's kind of one of the bigger MVPs. She has allowed me to get away with a lot of crazy shenanigans whenever she shows up, and she's been making sure to keep vital players alive, as long as they don't do really dumb shit, right? So, I'm the bodyguard, Soraka's the support, obviously, and the Sivir, well, she's doing her best. Anyways, another sort of fight engages, but this one goes rather poorly. You can see that my team is sort of divided, and that's not what we want. My team needs to fight together. The enemy team just got dragon, they're a little bit grouped up, and we're kind of in a really poor position to take advantage of them right now. Unfortunately for the enemy team, though, the Gragas just kind of sticks his thumbs up his ass and gets caught. Unfortunately for my team, he's too fucking fat to kill, so it just doesn't work out. We blew a lot of things to make that attempt, and the Riven tried to snipe, I think, my support or something, and then I get caught off a little bit off guard, or just trying to snipe the Gragas. But this is a really bad situation now, because we blew all our stuff on the Gragas and didn't manage to kill him. They're able to re-engage us and slowly pick us off. I actually sacrificed myself here for the Lux, trying to body block against Ezreal shots. I didn't think his damage would be that high, and they managed to burn me down rather quickly. And then the Lux, instead of running away, gets herself shot anyway, so my death was kind of completely in vain. Anyhow, Victor doesn't manage to take the tower because he's deadly afraid of bananas for some reason, and my team right now is starting to feel the pain of the gold spread. The Sivir in my team simply doesn't have the amount of damage in comparison to the rest of the enemy team. So when a full-blown team fight happens, we just kind of get rolled at this point because our damage is pretty pitiful. Our only hope is, of course, getting a lucky pick by Rengo or luck somehow blowing up the enemy team. But this is what I was trying to highlight. Right now, the enemy Ezreal and Janna can just kind of run circles around my teammates, and they can't really get punished because our damage isn't good enough. And even the damage that we can put, they can just disengage against us. Well, what I was hoping for in the team fights to come is that the Sivir was properly farmed and not totally killed, and that she would be able to sort of kill anyone that were sort of dispersing and whatnot. We chased them down and ass blast them, yeah. But now the enemy team's team composition or our lack of actual power is causing, the shit to go down. By the way, that's a really good body slam by Greg. I stopped my my E nearly at its apex. Either way, as you can see, just the damage in my team is non-existent at this point, and it's starting to make me regret building tank. I was thinking to myself, if I had built AP, could I have done anything? Could I have blown up the enemy Victor or the Ezreal if I managed to catch them? Of course, it would have made me more fragile, but I'm just sort of starting being torn. On one hand, I'm very difficult to kill, and I do quite a bit of good damage if the more prolonged the fight takes, and I am very disruptive and frustrating for the enemy team to deal with. Hell, even though my entire team gets slaughtered here, I survive, mostly because they didn't focus me down, but still, the point is there. It's kind of the double-edged sword of Zac. It's just that his damage is pretty fucking bad. I mean, for a tank, in very kind of make or break scenarios, if you don't itemize for it. So right now the enemy team is starting to recover. The advantage we had early on is completely gone. In the replay, you can see the kill disparity is pretty much in their favor despite having less kills. Thankfully, we catch the Ezreal and we catch the Janna as well, and slowly and surely pick her off. But still, yeah, we managed to pick off 3 of the enemy team. I think the Riven died elsewhere, and as a result we're able to sort of recoup some of it. But here's kind of the frustrating part. It seems that if we were to actually try fighting the Gragas, we would have basically no fucking way of dealing with him, except me tossing myself in front of him at all times. But at the same time, that's not really the best use of my peeling power. Peeling only the Gragas. So throughout this whole thing, I gotta come up with ways of increasing my team's survivability via myself. That's why I bought Rando and Zoman. Just slow down their jitteriness and allow my teammates to at least control some space or something. So that's why I bought the Rando and Zoman and the Spirit Fist, just because it's a really good item on the Zac. And then I'm building Thornmail just because I'm already difficult to kill, and hopefully focusing me will just sort of punish them. But either way, you can see the damage for my team isn't there. Throughout all that slow barrage of damage that we just dealt to the enemy team, we couldn't kill a single one of them. And now, like, as a result of that, once they group up, once they heal a little bit or my teammates run out of fuel, they just turn around and absolutely murder us. So yeah, things are starting to fall apart here, but it's solo queue. Even the worst compositions can win. Even the worst players can somehow turn it all around. So just sort of hope for the best. Either way, as you can see, it's incredibly difficult to kill me. I actually survived this. I just kind of walk away because they knowingly, intelligently know that I'm not worth chasing. So they go straight for the tower and straight for the inhibitor. They completely ignore me. And a lot more players need to be doing this kind of shit. Anyways, Lex gets too close, gets CC'd, and absolutely murdered. I jump in, I manage just to tag the Janna, she burns her flash, the enemy team is in retreat. However, you can see that they notice that the damage isn't there, so they just turn around and start to fight because I can't do jack dick, and the Sivir isn't going to do any fucking damage. Even with Soraka with her, she's not going to survive fighting one-on-one against the Ezreal. So now, it's just they focus on me. I manage to survive with a sliver of health. Riven comes in, Soraka heals me, I collect my bits of myself, manage to kill the Riven, and then we turn our attention to the Janna and manage to kill her. Holy shit. This little scene right here, my balls retracted into my body. It's that intense. Just like everything hinges on just the ability to kill them, but it's so hard unless they make mistakes or overcommit or we somehow outplay them. And then we have this situation here. 2 of my teammates die. I use my I use my E and it misses because I thought Victor was gonna retreat because he just killed 2 people. And unfortunately, that was a really terrible estimation on my part, and I end up getting killed there. So that was honestly stupid of me. So, like in retrospect, so yeah, as a result of that, the enemy team is able to freely push another turret. I don't think they actually managed to kill it. The Sivir can't stop anybody. She can't fight anyone 1v1. She's basically dead weight at this point. So, yeah, our damage is non-existent, and we're kind of just using her as an ult bot at this point. Rengar, for some reason, decided to jump on the Janna and the Victor, which was obviously the dumbest choice because it's Janna. And as a result, my teammates just get absolutely slaughtered. I finally respawn, I jump in, I miss, I get absolutely blasted down. It takes a little while in comparison to the rest, but with that, you know, my losing streak continues. Just, yeah, we pretty much lost. I tried my best. I went into this game with high hopes, but no matter what you do in solo queues, just sometimes one little thing can go really wrong, or one factor in your plan doesn't work out and it completely tumbles everything down. So I got punished for playing the sort of team play kind of champion. I should have probably gotten AP Zach. Either way, it was a pretty goddamn good game still, though, despite losing. So at least we got that going for us. This channel is supported by my sponsors, Crunchyroll and Loot Crate. Check out the description below for links to the websites. Signing up for any trials, including Crunchyroll's free anime trial, greatly supports my channel. Also remember to give the video a like to support the channel and subscribe if you haven't yet. I've also made a Patreon now, and if you wish to support me through that medium, then I welcome it.